What's up, ladies and germs? It's been a hot minute since I did an episode of the What's on My Desk, What's on My Mind segment. I think it's been like 5 months. Mostly just because I got busy. Um, and I don't know. Had so much stuff to do. I put it off with the other shows and whatnot. But with everything going on and some changes that have kind of happened because of it, I've been moderately stressed like everybody is right now. And I'm not really going to talk about the coronavirus stuff that's going on because I know everybody has their opinions. We all know it's happening, whether you believe it's a real thing or you're one of the people that think it's just a government plot or it's a conspiracy thing. It doesn't matter. That has nothing to do with what this video is. Um, it is affecting everybody one way or another, whether you agree with what's happening or not. And for me, I wanted to talk about perspective and finding happiness, finding the bright side of things, and how to push forward, or at least what I'm doing for myself. Since the beginning of the year, my wife and I made the decision. Let me start back. Last year, we had a lot of big changes in our life. We moved into this house, or actually the year before, excuse me. We moved into this house. We both got new cars that we had been wanting. I started expanding my martial arts business, expanded my art business, and the jobs I was taking. My wife is moving up in the ranks at her job. And things were going really well. So after a year of being here, it seemed like a lot of people, things were going great. It seemed like we were again moving forward. Um, we had a lot of big news at the end of the year. Found out that thanks to my son, I'm going to be a grandfather in a few months. So that's exciting. My daughter got engaged, so she's getting married next year. So that's another positive thing. And I picked up some new classes. If you don't know, I'm a martial arts instructor. I teach Taekwondo and Muay Thai, but I also do senior fitness. A cat just walking here. I do senior fitness classes for senior citizens, as well as senior Taekwondo classes. And I was just fixing to launch a brand new class that's obviously not happening at the moment. Um, Most of my classes that I teach out of the community center, or two different community centers in the cities where I'm at. One of them I've been there for 27 years, maybe. The other one is the center where I started taking Taekwondo when I was a kid. Come here, cat. Stop bothering stuff. And my instructor passed it to my dad. My dad passed it to me. I took it back. Anyway, I took back over, I guess, 3 to 5 years ago. I don't even remember now. So I've rebuilt that as part of my brand as well. And so we've been moving well. That's been my full time job. About 3 years ago, I shifted, became a full time artist slash martial arts instructor, and that's where we're at. So with this virus thing, there was already some personal things, the good things that I just mentioned about my kids and them growing up and getting their own lives, um, and doing their thing and moving forward in life. At the end of the last year, me and my wife decided we've been outside of being a martial arts instructor. One of the misunderstandings is I'm not getting a workout at class, I'm teaching. So I wasn't maintaining my own fitness. I could still do my kicks and my jumps and all that stuff, but I wasn't maintaining my own fitness. So obviously got really fat. If you've ever seen a video or other videos of me or pictures of me, I was big. I'm still big, but getting there. But me and my wife made a decision at the beginning of this year. We're going to get in shape, like a lot of people do, but which wasn't a resolution. This was just a life change. We bought us a treadmill. I finally built my home dojo slash gym that I've always wanted, that I didn't really have a place for until we moved in this house. So I got weights and punching bags and recumbent bikes and speed bags and um, dip stands and mats, and I've got everything out there. So we've been training. So I'm 3 months into the year, down almost 20 pounds. So yet another success in my life. Meal prepping, everything's going great. It's just my life now. It's not a diet plan or whatever. It's just how we live. So that was going great. Well, we were getting ready to launch a new class with my new senior Taekwondo class and whatnot. And then, of course, this virus thing hits. So the upside to being someone who's worked from home outside of teaching classes is my life doesn't change a whole lot on that side. I've got everything I need to keep my training going at home. I don't need to go to a gym. I have a nice house. We have plenty of food. We have plenty of toilet paper. We didn't have to run and buy a bunch of stuff because we already had some. We also don't hoard and act like crazy people. Um, so we're not in a panic state. But as expected, both the rec centers that I teach out of closed down for at least until May. So that's given me a good month at least. If you don't count, there's a cat now sticking up here. If you don't count the couple of days, the week or so, week and a half to 2 weeks that we have left. And that kind of circles back. I know I got long winded, but that circles back to what's on my mind. On top of all this, hello, Cat. I guess you want to join the show. On top of all this, my grandmother's been sick, or not been sick. She's passing away. She didn't have cancer or anything like that. She's 80 something years old. Her body is just starting to shut down. So we're at a point right now where it's about, they say about 12 more hours. I'll probably get the call. I could get it while I'm doing this at any moment. Kat, you're gonna have to shift around here, buddy. So I'm already dealing with that stress, and that's something that's life. A lot of people have those kind of things they deal with, and it's not easy. And then you have this stuff come in. So for the first time in 30 plus years, because of the shutdown, I have no classes to teach. I'm making some changes. I'm hoping to set up some virtual classes, and we're going to try to do some out in the park with no contact, spread out, doing just arcadas and kicks and punches and drills like this that don't involve making contact and getting close proximity. Keeping classes to no more than an hour instead of my normal 2 hours, and only twice a week instead of every day, until they don't let us. So we're going to just do them out in the park and weather permitting, so that I can try to keep things going, mostly for my students' training and my sanity. But this is the first time in 30 plus years that I have not been in a class or been teaching a class regularly. And it's a little distressing. It's not even, the money is going to be an issue with everybody, and myself included. But it's not the money so much. It feels like a part of me has been taken, right? My life is martial arts. The only thing that matters more to me, and I'm not talking about my kids and family stuff. I'm talking about, just of me. The only thing that matters to me more than my martial arts aspect of my life is probably my art. And my art jobs still happen. I've still got 3 deadlines I'm working on right now that I'm blessed to have. But those don't pay much. So those aren't really the comfort of the paying, but they are the comfort of having that art still part of my life. And that's the blessings. And that's kind of where I'm shifting my focus, and why I'm came back to do this video today is not only vent out what's going on for my own benefit, my own sanity, but also to talk about the upside that we have to find. This is a time that a lot of people are going to be really struggling, whether their businesses are going to go under, they're struggling to make ends meet, they're trying to figure out how to pay their own bills, losing jobs, whatever. I've got friends that I've been talking to that have lost jobs, or they've had issues, and they're going to struggle. They're on the panic verge of losing everything. And while I'm not, thankfully, we're not in that position right now. I just finished filling out an application for Home Depot because I'm going to try to do whatever I can to make sure there's some income coming in until they open back up. And we all know it'll eventually happen, but we don't know when. But hopefully I can get some income coming in. But the bright side that I'm trying to see of all this is, what can I do for myself, my class, my family, my life, to be better when this ends. When I step out of the house at the end of the quarantine, self quarantines, whatever you want to call them, when all this ends, how am I going to be better? The first part is, I've got to find myself physically better, healthier. We'd already started that. So the last 3 months, I've been like pretty strict on, we have cheat days, but I'm pretty strict about the training, the focus on meal prepping, make sure I get those workouts in every day, make sure I'm getting that cardio every day. And it's really, and getting my martial arts training and everything, it's all part of my life now again, like it was when I was younger and I was training all the time and I was fighting and kickboxing and whatnot. My life has gone back to that, minus the heavy fighting, because I'm older. I have injuries, been hit in the head too many times, so I'm not supposed to fight as much. But it's not about the fighting anymore. It's just about maintaining my personal health and getting myself in better shape, so I feel better. Plus, I have a grandkid coming home, so I got to, not only do I need to be healthy for my grandkid that's coming, but I got to be a sexy grandpa too. So the scary part right now for me financially is not so much me, but my kids. Both my kids, one just bought a house, the other one just moved into a new rent house. The concern of how this impacts or just now starting a new chapter of their lives, and hope for the best. But this is not about that. This is about trying to find the positivity in what's happening. First, my health. Like I said, I'm trying to step my game up. I'm home. I have the time. There is no excuse. So I'm going to hit that gym harder. I'm going to work out a little bit harder, get a little more cardio, watch things that make me smile, get my body and my mind mentally in a good place. And that shifts into the other aspect is what's up here. The stress and everything will bring you down, and we're all going to have stress. You can't get away with the stress because it's a stressful time. Whether you agree with it, disagree with it, believe it, think the government's overreacting, it doesn't matter. It's happening. And, not all of us have a lot of disposable income or income period now. And so it's going to be stressful. What you got to do is you got to find ways to try to keep those creative juices flowing, to keep you happy, to keep you smiling somehow, whether it's talking to friends, watching a movie, when you're on your hobbies, doing a project, something. You've got to mentally keep yourself active. You can't just sit there and stare at the wall or out the window and can be constantly. You're going to have to be somewhat, but can't be constantly concerned about, oh my God, what's going to happen. You have to realize that you're never going to get to that other side if you're not physically healthy and mentally healthy, because you're going to drive yourself insane. The upside to social media, outside of all the bad stuff that gets shipped around, is the goofy jokes and the things like that people share, that some are highly inappropriate for the times that are dire, but they're those moments that you laugh and you can be like, I can see the funny side of this, and know that no matter how long this takes, there will be another side, and it's going to be better on that other side at some point, and we're going to all get there together. The other part is getting right, excuse me, in your heart or spiritually, depending on how you want to look at it. This isn't about religion. A lot of churches are being shut down. I know people that, excuse me, I just swallowed something. Sorry. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I don't have it, I promise. I know a lot of people that aren't necessarily church people. They're not, they might believe in God, but they're not active. Like, I'm not somebody that actively goes to church, right? I pray, I believe in God, I have my faith, but I don't go to a church. Whereas my father-in-law is a minister. My wife is a regular churchgoer. Her mom's sings in the church, and they run a Bible school, college kind of thing, and everything. They're very big church people. It's not really my thing, but I pray for every night for my own way. But you have to get with something. And when I say something, I mean like something spiritually, and it's not necessarily religion, but you need something in your heart that feeds that positive energy, whether it is God or Allah or Buddha or whatever religion you are. I'm not one that thinks one religion is better than the other. I don't think all Muslims are bad. I don't think all Christians are good. It's a case of the individual. I think pretty much all religions have the same foundation in love, and there's bad people in every one of them, but I think there's more good ones. That's just my opinion. That's not there to argue about. But you got to find something in your heart, spiritually, of some way, and whatever that is to you, to keep that uplifting spirit, because when your spirit breaks, everything else is going to go with it. You can't survive on a broken spirit. And whether your spirit is just um, facetious, not really the Holy Spirit mentality, it's more of like they just broke you down, you train, they broke your spirit, like the saying goes. If it's that kind of thing, it doesn't matter what it is. It's it just needs to come here. It just needs to be strong. So you got to get that body stronger. You got to get that mind stronger. You got to get that spirit stronger, and your heart in a good place. And above all else, you have to be positive. Put a smile on your face. With all my senior classes I teach, I always tell everybody 3 to 4 times, if not more, during class, smile, smile. Why aren't you smiling? Everybody's just sitting there. You all look grumpy. And I'm doing it as a joke to add levity and be fun during class, but I mean it too. It's like so many people don't smile for no reason. I'm not talking about the people that are depressed or something's happened, because you never know. I used to be really bad about going to people and seeing somebody that just had a scowl on their face, and I'd be like, smile, be happy, and that's not always the case for people. You don't know what's going on in their life, but there are plenty of people out there that just are mad or frowning for no reason. That's just because they refused to show happiness to the outside world. And I think if you just smiled more, you would feel better. It's not going to solve your problems, right? Let's be real. Just smiling and thinking positive is not going to solve all of your life's problems, but it's going to make you feel better. It's going to take that stress off you for a few minutes. I told somebody one time, I said, even if you fake smile for 5 minutes, you're going to forget for a second that you weren't happy. And then all of a sudden you're going to be all like, wait a minute, I'm mad. And then you go back to being mad. But for just that little small amount of time, you're happy, or you convince yourself you're happy. And I used to be depressed a lot when I was younger. I went through some stuff. To be dark, I had a child pass away years and years ago before my kids now were born. I had to deal with that. I've dealt with a divorce. I've dealt with people, loved ones passing away. I've dealt with, losing everything. I've dealt with being poor. I've dealt with injuries. I've dealt with everything just like everybody else has. And it sent me in a dark path. I had some years during my school days where, I was really fighting some depression. I was really fighting suicidal thoughts and stuff. Now, I don't know if I was ever honestly to the point where I really would have killed myself or done anything, but I know I thought about it. But a lot of I never tell people at the time, and so it wasn't a case of that was my thing. It was just, and I'm not saying that for people to feel sorry for me. Oh my God, none of that. Martial arts got me out of that. Martial arts was always my fallback of going back to when I got unbalanced in my mind or my heart or my body. Martial arts was always the thing that brought me back to the middle. No matter how frustrating the students make me sometimes, no matter how frustrating or how exhausted I get or how frustrated I get from having to be at class and having to miss other things. Anybody that knows me or that's in my class knows my classes come first. And I will have class no matter what the weather is, no matter, like with this pandemic thing, I told them we are having class. Until they shut us down, we were having class. And Monday night, we had class. And at the end of class, that's when they told me they were shutting the rec center down until May. And I lost class, and immediately I went into recovery mode. Now we're going to have some outside classes until they tell us we can't do that. So you have to find your thing to not only get your mind, your body, and your soul and your spirit right, but you have to also find that thing that reads you balance. Whether it's an individual, my wife brings me a lot of balance because she supports me and she pushes me, and my art gives me mental balance to block out the rest of the world and be creative and do my thing. And martial arts is not, and if you're not in martial arts or something like this, you won't understand this, but martial arts is my life. This isn't my job. It is, but it's not my job in a standpoint of I do my job, I come home. It's my life 24/7. I'm constantly reading something. I'm constantly studying something. I'm teaching a class here. I'm trying to find other ways to teach other classes. When I train, it's about that. Everything circles back to that. the person I grew up to be is, I have my parents are still together. Both of them are still alive. But I also had other support groups, support systems around me, and all of them are martial arts based. And it has really torn my heart in half, knowing that I have no class to teach right now. And it's not about just being able to pass the knowledge or my joy of teaching. It feels like a part of me is being held hostage, because I don't have the outlet to pass on the information that my instructor, who passed away in 2008, my life goal has always been, it's not just about teaching Taekwondo or teaching Muay Thai or whatever I teach. It's about keeping his memory alive through what he taught me, and what he teaches me now is what is who I am. I've been doing martial arts since I was 9 years old. I'll be 46 this year, so I'm 45. It's been a long time, and it's really weird knowing that for the next month, possibly longer, I'm not going to have classes. Like I said, I'm going to try these outside classes. Hopefully, I can get the virtual ones working and go from there. But for now, it is what it is, and I just wanted to vent. I know this rant really didn't do much for anybody more than myself. But if somebody else gets a little inspired with positivity or something, then hopefully it'll help you. Um, I'm thankful and blessed that I have not only my home gym, but I have this little Star Wars paradise of my own, that may not seem like all that important, but when you have somewhere creative, or something that inspires you creatively that you love to where you work, it does help. And I have a place to retreat up here. My two place in the house to retreat is right in this chair or downstairs in the home gym, and those are my personal oasis, as I need them. This is up here. Up here is where I do the drawing and the creativity. Down there is where I do the fighting and the training, and it all makes me better. It makes me at peace. But I'm like everybody else. I'm kind of lost right now, feeling pretty emotional between. I feel like between losing my classes, I know it's not permanent, right? I know it's not permanent, and I know it's going to open back up, and we're going to get back to it, and all of us are going to be stronger on the other side. But part of me is lost right now, um, which means I have to fight harder to maintain who I am, because martial arts is who I am, and I've lost that portion, um, of expression. I haven't lost it because I still have it for me, but I've lost that expression that I've used on a daily basis to pass it on to others. And while it's going to come back, it's going to be hard to not be something that I wake up to every day and say, grab the bag, let's go. Well, we were supposed to have a belt test this Saturday. They got canceled. The first time I've ever had to cancel a belt test, in the, I guess, 20 something years I've been teaching, whatever it is. I've been doing martial arts since I was 9 years old, and I started teaching at 17. So this is the first times in all that time that I've ever had to cancel a belt test for anything. I've had to move some classes around because of tornadoes and different things that happened, for things that were damaged and destroyed. But I've never had to not have class, and it's really bothering me. And I know it sounds stupid, and it's petty, especially in relation to people that have lost jobs and they're really going to be struggling, and I am too. But it's a different situation, and I don't expect everybody to understand. But that's what was on my mind, so that's why I decided to return. Who knows? Between all this, I'm gonna have a lot more time, so there may be a lot more nonsense on my mind. But I'm gonna wrap it up at that. Just try to be positive. Try to find something, those bright spots. Try to take the time to write that book, to finish that drawing, to sew. I don't know, to knit, sew, paint something, build something, clean your house, reorganize your drawers. You know, put together your collection. Whatever you've been putting off, whatever you need to do to make you come out on the other side and say, you know what, it sucked. I might have lost these things, or I might have really struggled during this time. But on the other side, you look back and say, but you know what? That's when I did this and this and this, and that's what made me better on the other side, either as a person or in your circumstance. We're all in this together. So do what you can to, I don't have a lot of money to help people and pay for things for people, but what I try to do is I try to talk to my friends. I try to be uplifting if I can. If I see somebody that's not feeling well or upset or tired or depressed, I try to reach out to them, at least try to talk to them, and I'd hope somebody would do the same for me if it came to that. Um, and also try to support any of your local businesses. If you have your favorite restaurants, and honestly, whether it's chain restaurant or a local business, obviously the chains will survive a little bit better than the local ones. But if you have a place you like, support it. They're still opened up for drive-throughs and a lot of that stuff. Not necessarily all of them you can go to sit down in, but you can still, like today we have our favorite Sonaida Mexican restaurant here around us. When we got lunch there, had to pick it up and bring it home. Still delicious as it was if I went and ate there. So I want to make sure we support them as much as we can, do what we can during this crazy time. We're gonna all be stronger on the other side. We're gonna be better people, hopefully, especially with all the nonsense in the elections and the fighting and the craziness we've been going through all this time. Maybe this will be that crazy thing that puts us through so much trauma that we have to work together again and kind of fix some of this country. Who knows? Just speculation. Either way, I'm going to do my damnedest to come out on the other side a better person, mind, body, and soul. And I hope you do too. All right. I appreciate you listening to my ramblings. And I hope that, hope you find your way and everybody comes out on this on the other side really well. Do what you can if you can help somebody else. If you can't, at least help yourself. All right. Peace.